12 of us on. Hello there, people.
Hello.
Okay, before we get started, I'm going to ask, there you go. Some of you already started. You can mute your microphone, but turn on your camera if you don't mind. Let's all take a look at each other. All right, Jane, that's good. You do what you got to do when you're on the clock. You know, you got to pay the man, right? Or the woman, or whatever the case may be. It's good that you work for an employer that gives you at least a little bit of leeway for you to do this. Or are you double dipping? Uh-huh. All right, then. That just said all kinds of stuff. All right, I've got 5:30, so I believe for your time and my time and everybody's time, even if not everybody's on yet or whatever, I think we ought to start on time so we can end on time. How many of y'all are expecting to be on till 8 o'clock tonight? Great. How many of y'all are expecting to get off like in the next half hour, 40 minutes? Great. I don't know how to answer that. What does Chef want me to say? Tonight or this evening is going to be pretty quick, as is typical for any college class. Your first day of class is usually hand the syllabus, set some expectations, talk about the class, what the class is going to be, what you can expect, answer any questions, and then we're done. Next week, we're a lecture a little bit, and will be a little bit longer than we spend tonight. Starting in week 3, and for the rest of the semester, here's what's unusual. Let me go ahead and set this expectation right up front. I'm going to be in the kitchen. We're going to figure this out over a couple weeks. I would like you to be in your kitchen, and we're going to start working. We're going to cut together. I'm going to talk about product this evening and how to get product and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But, the thing about online education today that doesn't work is what I call automated robotic teaching. It's more from the teacher's perspective, and that's I set up a class. You've got some homework to do each week. I'll get on once in a while and grade what you do. If you have a problem, maybe you can email me. Good luck trying to get an answer. And what a lot of people experienced this past year, from kindergarten and first and second grade up to higher education. Any of y'all just coming from high school? Spent last year in high school? Samuel, thanks. You raise your hand there real quick. Was it pretty unusual last year with all the COVID?
Kind of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you just fine.
Okay. Kind of. I was able to go in person most of the time, though.
Oh, hey, that's a blessing. That's good. A lot of people just sat at home, sat in the bed, sat at the dining table, and you stared at a computer screen and you wrote some stuff, or I don't know how it was, but it was not, there was no opportunity to be engaged in the moment with your teacher or with each other or anything like that. And so I'll introduce myself just a little bit better in a minute, but I'm also a student like you. So I feel your pain. I am a doctoral candidate on the downslide now of a doctorate, and I'm working on my dissertation. And my dissertation focuses on online culinary arts education. And so from things I've learned and things I'm designing and whatnot, here we are today. You get to be at home, or in Jane's case, you get to be in the office or wherever it is that you are. You don't have to drive in to South Little Rock. You have the comfort of being in your own surroundings. You get to save gas money and blah, blah, blah. But that is the only real difference between what we're going to experience this semester and the traditional in-person class. I'm going to demo things, and you're going to do what I demo from the comfort of your home, and I can spotlight each of your cameras. I can blow you up on my screen, and I can see your hands, and I can see how you hold the knife, and I can give you real-time feedback. And that's what this class is gonna look like. Okay. So if you have questions as we go, hopefully by now we all have enough experience in the Zoom world that you know how to use the little raise your hand feature, or I'm kind of okay with you can unmute your microphone and just blurt out a question if you want, so long as we all keep our microphones muted as we go. My name is Chef Robert Hall. It is appropriate to address me as chef. It is appropriate to address any of your other instructors if you're visiting the culinary school, or if you're taking other in-person classes right now. You see this black piping on my uniform. All the instructors wear this the same cut of uniform that has this black piping. See that there? Now maybe just a little better. What's happened? There you go. This black on my uniform. It is appropriate for you to address everyone at the culinary school with this black piping as chef, whether they're formal chefs or they're not. I am a certified executive chef and a certified culinary administrator with the American Culinary Federation. I am also a World Association of Chefs Society's certified master chef. Only certified master chef in Arkansas. I don't share that at this point in your education to try to build me up or put me on any kind of pedestal. I've done enough things, I've seen enough stuff, and I've earned enough awards that I don't need any more strokes of my ego or anything like that. I share that with you, hopefully to give you a little sense of confidence that what we are going to do, even if it's in a non-traditional format like this, what we're going to do, what I'm going to share, what you will experience in this class is going to be is going to be the right stuff. I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday, and I didn't just cram and read the textbook over the last couple of weeks so I could get up to speed. In fact, we won't formally talk about textbook things very much at all. You will have assignments each week, really starting next week. You'll have assignments each week that take you to the textbook. What I like to share with you, I kind of call value added. I'm going to share with you over 30 years of experience in this industry. And that's all I have to say about that, unless y'all have some other kind of questions. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Give me a minute, and so I can stay a little bit organized. Come on, there we go. All right, can y'all see this? Everybody see this? You see where we're at?
Yes.
Jane, I'm going to talk about uniform here in just a little bit. So just stand by, be patient just a bit, and I'll dive into the uniform thing. The short answer already is yes, we're going to need you're going to need a uniform. And C. Reed, whoever, I don't know your first name, I'll learn everybody by the semester, I promise. At least by the end of the semester, it should be okay. Yeah, if you've got if you have some camera issues or some audio issues or things happen, feel free to pop out and pop in if you have to. And here we go. Well. Okay. Let's talk just a little bit about using Zoom. Most of y'all already were. I appreciate if we start class on time. I'm going to do my very best. I will be here on time. I won't be logging on until 2 or 3 minutes before. 5:25, 5:27, something like that is when I'll be jumping on. If you want to jump on earlier and just wait, sometimes COVID or no COVID in this distance kind of environment, it's nice to just interact with each other. And, I know some of you got on 15, 20 minutes ago. For this class, I set Zoom up in such a way that I don't have to let you in. So y'all get in, and if y'all want to visit with each other, and if y'all want to bash on the chef before chef gets on, before anything's recorded, y'all feel free to do anything that you want to do. Once I get on, the next thing, be respectful. At least, chef, I'm very, very sensitive, and I cry really easy. And if you believe that, never mind. Don't believe that. I don't take a whole lot of things seriously, except my faith, my family, and food. So when we're talking about the business, food itself, I take that serious. A lot of things I say might be a little bit sarcastic, but never to the point of offending anyone. And I expect you all to behave the same way. Be respectful of each other. Keep microphones muted until you have something to say. There is that little raise your hand feature. If you want to say something, go ahead. Most of you, it appears, those of you that have your cameras on are already in, it's like you're trained professionals and you've done Zoom before, and you've already picked a quiet place where you don't have too many distractions. So that's going to be important. The quiet place, we will probably, depending on you and how you feel about your house and your surroundings, you'll want to move to a place where you can comfortably stand, use your knives, and cut. That's the main thing that we do in Food Production 1. And so you'll want to pick a workspace in your home, your dining table, in your kitchen. I'm going to be in my kitchen. And I don't have a fancy kitchen. You can see one of the banisters, one of the railings on the stairs right behind me in my house is just a 2x4. I have a house that's almost 100 years old that I'm remodeling, and I haven't made it to the kitchen yet. And so you'll see in 2 weeks, I have a kitchen that looks like it came out of not quite Leave It to Beaver, the Brady Bunch. I have a kitchen that just about came out of Brady Bunch. It's a 1970s kitchen, and so I'm fine with that. You need to be in a quiet-ish place where you can work. Most of you have this already. You can set up your Zoom so that your name shows up. It is very much preferable that I can see your name. Use the chat feature. You can. Thanks, Terry. 100-year in your family, Terry. Your house has stayed in your family.
Yes, my great grandfather built this house.
Wow,
my great grandmother lived here also.
What a story.
Thank you.
Want to see your face? Whole face, maybe face and shoulders a little bit. Y'all know that you don't need to get way up on the camera like this, and we don't want to see up in your nose, and we don't want to see, right? So don't do things like that. And when we start working in the kitchen, we'll work this out in week 3 and week 4. We'll have to finesse this. But I actually want to focus on your hands. I want to focus on you holding the knife more than focusing on all of you. I'd rather focus on a cutting board and you cutting, how you hold your knife and the dynamics of your cut. I want to focus on that. But for this week and next week, there you go. I don't know what that core values thing. I thought this was a good little graphic, so I chose it. And well, there you go. If you're like me, even remotely like me, I've got a little bit of ADD. And that means no matter what's going on around me, the hamsters get into the hamster wheel in my brain and just start going 90 miles an hour. It's very easy to get me distracted or send me down a rabbit hole. And so maybe you have this kind of attention span, kind of like I do. You get on Zoom, especially after the year that we've had, the 15, 16 months that we've had, and we're still in. And oh, it's so nice to see other people. No matter what anybody's saying, you're taking a minute to check out the backgrounds. What do people have in their house? Or while you're doing that, then the thought comes, did I take a shower today? I don't remember if I showered. And, you know, I see myself in the camera right over here. I see myself. And has my neck always done this? Does it flop like that? That's crazy. But have I always been this bald? You know, should I move the camera up higher? Should I move the camera like up here? How does that look? You can see the top of my head just fine. Now, I never had a problem with cat on the keyboard. Little story about me. I think God gave us cats so that dogs have something to play with. And all of that. I like dogs because dogs are dumber than me. Don't like cats because they think they rule the house and they're the master and all that. And I am a true executive chef and I'm a control freak. And I don't want some little pet that has more control of the house than I do. So I like dogs. I had to put my dog down in February. And so that's that. I don't have to worry about taking kids out of the bathroom. My son is 28. I have one married daughter that's 27, and my youngest daughter is still in school. She's 24. 27-year-old announced over the summer that she's going to have a baby. And so during potentially the very end of this semester to the middle of January, I'm going to be a grandpa for the very first time. So, yay. And about 2% of what's on your mind, thank you. Thanks, everybody. What 2% of what's actually on your mind during a Zoom class is actually the things that have to do with class. I get it. So we try to move as fast as possible. I've got about a 5 to 7 year old attention span. So I want to move things on as quickly as possible to keep up with a 5 or 7 year old. Okay. Some of this that I'm going to share is in the syllabus, but I'll review how to get to the syllabus and all that here in just a minute. For those that are having trouble with Blackboard, I'm going to do a brief little Blackboard tutorial right at the very end of what we have to say today. But this is me and how you get a hold of me. These posted office hours are the times that I am almost guaranteed to be physically in my office at the culinary school. And so if you have a burning question, if you have a particular need, and you need to get a hold of me right away, these times I'm in my office. Now, getting a hold of me right away, let me tell you what that really looks like. I give you my office phone because the school said I had to give you my office phone. But any of you that come and visit my office are going to see my office and my desk. And I'm one of those that I work on a paper and then somebody comes in the office and hands me another paper, and whatever I'm working on, I just push off to the side. I just moved offices over the summer. When I push this over to the side, it rests right on my phone. And if I'm in my office, I'll answer the phone when it rings. If I don't answer the phone, that means I'm not in the office. You leave a voicemail and I have a little red flashing light on my phone that says I have a voicemail. The problem is it's already started this week. Papers start stacking up and they start stacking up on my phone. So I don't see the little red flashing light. If you leave me a voicemail on my office phone, I guarantee I will get the message. But I will probably get the message in December. So just keep that in mind. I would encourage you to contact me via my cell phone. The best method to communicate with me is text or email. Even if I'm not in my office, I've stepped away, I get your emails on my phone. I get your text on my phone. I don't carry my phone with me if I'm in class. I'm teaching 6 classes this semester. I've got a pretty heavy load. I'm also the lead culinary instructor, so I'm helping other instructors at the culinary school. We have 2 brand new instructors, talented chefs that have never taught before, and so I'm working very closely with them. So I ask you to be patient if you send me a text or you send me an email or you call and leave a voicemail. Feel free to do that. I get those on my cell phone. But I likely will not be, boom, you text me and I'm going to shoot you an answer in, 30 seconds. I get with you. Usually I'm responding within 2 or 3 hours. So just keep that in mind. This is the textbook. As of last week, they were back ordered, and on Friday, we just heard they're in the bookstore now. So if you haven't gone shopping for anything, go to the bookstore and pick up from Pearson. That's the name of the publishing company. On Cooking, 6th edition. Now, full transparency. It is possible for you to go out on the interwebs and you can do a Google search or whatever search engine you use and search for a download PDF of On Cooking. Find something for $20. Congratulations. Download the PDF and you're good to go. For this class, this textbook, in fact, I'm going to go on a limb with a few changes that have happened over the summer. I believe with every class in the culinary school with this textbook, not every single class, but with this textbook. So food production 1, 2, 3, 4, meat, seafood, stock, soups, and sauces. All you need is the textbook. You do not need that little card that has a computer code to give you access to some online assignments and online stuff, because none of us use those online assignments or any of that online content. You just need the textbook. So if you find a PDF or an ebook download, and you can get it for cheaper than, I think the textbook's around $200 at the bookstore, and I know you can find it for cheaper, you are more than welcome to go get the download or the ebook or whatever else you can find. I'm not going to share any links of places that I have found because I'm supposed to direct you to the bookstore. But last week I found a free download, but the site is not a very trustworthy site. So for that reason, I won't share the link. I found several links to download this book for about $24. So if you haven't gotten a book yet, there's multiple methods and you're fine either way. Going to the bookstore, the bag is going to look about like this. The culinary student knife kit from the bookstore, Mercer knives. These are forged knives. They're quality knives. It's a good recipe of steel formula. And these knives are going to last you easily the first decade or so of your career. So store has these knives already. The North Little Rock campus, everything for the culinary school has been moved from the bookstore at South Campus. You need to go to North Little Rock, the big UAPTC campus, go to that bookstore to get these supplies. If you have questions about knives, let me address those one-on-one. Send me an email if you already have knives, if you work in the business and have knives, et cetera, et cetera. Send me an email. Send me a text that has a picture of what you have or what you want to get, and let's go from there. Okay. I'd like to deal with those on kind of a case-by-case, one-on-one basis. I don't get paid by Mercer. I don't endorse any particular brand. And I'm going to teach you a couple of things next week about knives and brands. And my short answer about knives is I really don't care what brand you get. I recommend the student kit, but I recommend it, but I won't be using it in any demos that I do. So feel free to contact me one-on-one. Two of your former classmates, neither one of these students have been in the school for several years. I want to point out two things. You can see on the camera here, you got a couple of few classmates that are already in uniform. Some of you sent me an email asking if you needed uniforms for tonight, and I'm okay with you not being in uniform tonight. When we step in the kitchen, just like the in-person classes, there are things that we do in Food Production 1, regardless of where we are. And by week 3, you're in uniform, even for Zoom. I'm not going to see your feet unless you move your camera and show me your feet, but you'll read in the syllabus part of our uniform. Our uniform code includes solid black non-slip shoes. Walmart, for example, has a Brahma brand. They also have Tread Safe. I'm going to put a message here in the chat. I'm going to send you. This is where I get my shoes. They have a wide variety of shoes, wide variety of styles. The frog type Chef Crocs. They're solid rubber. You can throw them in the dishwasher at home with your dishes, top shelf. Keep them nice and clean. You don't have to do that, but they're solid rubber. If you're a redneck from the South like me, it feels very comfortable, almost like being barefoot. But they're non-slip. You may feel safe in your kitchen at home, but you will take classes at the culinary school, and you will need this as part of your uniform. You need solid black chef pants. You need the UAPTC logoed chef coat. You need the UAPTC, it's a ball cap, baseball cap. Or it's not used exclusively, but Terry, do you mind if I kind of pick on you? And I'm going to point everybody. If you look around the classroom scene and you see Terry Williams, she has on, we call it the baker's skull cap, the baker's cap, especially for any of you that might have big hair. You can cover up, and it's a lot more flexible to move around all the hair, much better than the ball cap. I want to point out, look at the student on the left of the screen, the one that has the saute pan and the spoon. You notice how the top of his chef coat is open?
Mm-hmm.
That's a no-no.
Oh.
You notice the guy standing on the right, and his chef coat is buttoned up all the way to the top?
Yes.
That is correct. Okay. Also notice, you can see better the guy on the right. You can see some of mine a little bit, maybe barely. Thermometer, Sharpie,
Mm-hmm.
writing pen. They go in these side pockets. Even working at home, get in the habit of using these pockets and carrying those three things: thermometer, Sharpie, black Sharpie, not the purple and the yellow and the orange, and you like the neon green looking Sharpie. No, please, just the black Sharpie. Last, we learned how to label and date leftovers. We label and date other product stuff that we may have cut that we're going to use elsewhere. And there is a proper way to label that stuff before it goes in the cooler. And so we always do that with a Sharpie. Black Sharpie stands out. A pen for you to take notes and write things down. Again, that's just a good habit to be in. You carry those with you on your chef coat. Do any of you have any particular questions about the uniform? I'll wait a minute. Kelsey, go ahead. Ask your question. What's up?
My question is, where do I pick, so do I pick up the uniform in North Little Rock?
Yes, North Little Rock at the bookstore. The
Okay, thank you.
Pick up your knives, the same place you pick up the textbook.
Okay.
All you're going to need, so don't feel like you have to get another set of uniforms for each class that you take.
Mhm.
Food production 1 is going to be the most expensive class you take in your whole culinary education. That's because you're getting a textbook that you're going to use for almost all of your classes, and you got to buy it now. You're getting the uniform, and for most of you, you probably do just fine with just one set. If you're going to take 15, 18 hours, and you're going to take 3 or 4 lab classes in a semester, well, you might want to get 2 or 3 sets unless you're living with your family and you got a big family and you or mom or grandma or grandpa or dad or uncle or auntie or whoever it is you're living with, or you have to do laundry every single day. Because you want to go to class every day with your uniform straight, clean, no wrinkles in it, blah, blah, blah. Which means you're getting in the habit of having this Sharpie and this pen and stuff in this side pocket of your chef coat. Do your laundry leaving the Sharpie in your chef coat. Don't do laundry. I like blue pens, blue ink. Don't do your laundry with a blue gel ballpoint pen still in your pocket. Otherwise, the inside of your washing machine and the inside of your dryer and all of your clothes have blue dots and black dots and looks like a black and blue Jersey cow. So y'all don't do that, okay? Anything else on the uniform?
I have one more question. What is the question? Do I have to buy the whole, do I have to buy like the whole uniform and the knife set if I'm doing classes online?
So that's a great question. Let me start an answer by telling everybody this. Number one, when you go to the bookstore to purchase your supplies, I'm taking a little bit of an assumption here. Most of you have some kind of financial aid award, some kind of financial aid that's helping you pay for school. You can use your financial aid in the bookstore. And so you have a student ID number. It's easier on you already know that number, but when you gather your supplies, you go up to the counter and you say, I want to use my financial aid. And they'll do a little magic in the computer and bing, bong, bang, and just takes that out of your student account if you have surplus financial aid sitting in your account. So that should help all of us that have financial aid. You don't have to go into debt and use your credit card or write a check or anything like that. The short answer to Kelsey's question is yes. You need a book, you need one set of uniform, and you need your knives. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, I really don't care what kind of knives you get, okay? So if some of you are taking notes, if you want to write this down, you need a chef knife. I use an 8-inch chef knife. They come 8, 10, 12, 14. They come smaller, like 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch. 8-inch or 10-inch chef knife is pretty classical size. You need an 8-inch chef knife. You need somewhere between a 3-inch to 4-inch paring knife,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a sharpening hone, Hone, sharpening steel. It's one of those rods. Okay? That rod needs to be 2 inches longer than the size of your chef knife. So if you have an 8-inch chef knife, you need a 10-inch hone. If you have a 10-inch chef knife, you need a 12-inch hone. If you want to go cheaper, if you want to go less expensive rather than the knives in the bookstore, I'm a pretty big fan of Amazon. I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, much to my wife's chagrin. I spend too much money sometimes on the Amazon, and so there you go. The only issue buyer beware. Not everything, when you look up chef knives or professional culinary knives or knife set or knife kit or knife rolls, not everything that Amazon sells is quality stuff. Okay, good. Thanks, Caleb. Did y'all see that? So Caleb's hat was about 25, pants about 40, coat about 42. That sounds about right. It should be pants, coat, hat should be in the $100 ballpark. Okay. Knife kit.
Online.
Do you want to ask me? When y'all cook, after when y'all cook, are y'all going in? Or what? I have one more question, Chef.
Yes, please go ahead.
While we're cooking, are we doing it online still?
Yes. Well, see, in Food One, we are doing more with knife skills and less cooking. We're going to do some cooking because I'm going to teach you a principle of utilizing product that we prep. But main objective, the main purpose of Food One is to learn professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And from the work we do as a chef, the fundamental foundation is knife skills. So you're going to cut potato. Y'all going to get sick of potatoes and onions and celery and garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all going to cut potatoes over and over and onions over and over. And so we're going to do at least some of that online while we're in Zoom, just like an in-person class. It's just you're going to be in your kitchen and I'm going to be in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Live in the moment. I can say, Kelsey, move your finger. Kelsey, don't put your thumb where you got your thumb. Move it down over here. Hold the food like that. You're going to cut your fingers off. Don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to get the same treatment, the same feedback, the same feel, exactly like an in-person class. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mercedes asked a question earlier about, okay, never mind. I think Mercedes, we just answered that about how much the uniforms cost and if you can use financial aid. Yes, you can. It doesn't matter what kind of black Sharpie. It doesn't even have to be a Sharpie. You need to acquire a black marker. Okay.
Okay. This is my last question. So
No, it won't be, but that's okay.
I saw some chef knives on Amazon and they were like really expensive. But then I have a set of knives in my kitchen.
You need a
So like, is it cheaper to like order some off of Amazon or
You
to
need
like
a-
a gift store? I mean,
you need a chef knife,
mm-hmm,
you need a paring knife,
mm-hmm.
and you need the sharpening steel, the sharpening hone.
Okay.
In this class, you need those three things. If you already have a knife set at home, one of those wood blocks maybe,
Mm-hmm.
That's just fine. Now, they may not be sharp. And the first thing we're going to learn is how to sharpen our knives. And the first thing we learn with our knives is going to be how to sharpen and care for our knives. And so some of you, if you're using knives that you've had around your kitchen at home for a long time, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's quite all right. You don't have to go and spend $300 on a set of knives. But you may be dealing with some pretty dull edges that we're going to need to fix because, well, we'll talk about that next week. Paring knife, sharpening steel.
Okay.
All right.
I got it.
Samuel asked earlier about the specific type of non-slip shoes, black. So that's not a specific type or style or cut, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever is comfortable for you. Samuel, go ahead.
So I have one class in person, which is with Chef Best, and he said something about like it can't have a design or anything, and it has to be like leather. Does that really like matter still, or not really sure?
No, they don't have to be leather. He kind of misspoke a little bit. We love Chef Best. Chef Best has a million years of experience, and I'm recording this, so I shouldn't say it, but he's about a million years old as well. And a couple of times there's a little slip, and that's one of his little slips. They don't have to be leather, even for his class, but they need to be solid black. So if you find some non-slip shoe with the Nike type swoosh on it, no, sir. Solid black.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go down here. There's lots of new messages. And so, yes, okay. Yeah, I think that's about right. 215 or 245 or something like that for the knife kit. Sydney, that's a great question. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Your question about how much food costs. Okay. I'll give you the short answer now. You already paid for the food. Oh, Sarah already said that. It's part of your lab fee. That's correct. Okay. I'm going to talk about how you get your stuff. Yeah, I'll mention grocery pickup. You'll pick it up. You'll pick it up at the culinary school. Correct, at South. All right, let's dive into that a little more. Come on. Here's how you're going to get a grade. There's a little math. There's some quizzes to take. Okay, this was a little backwards here. So hold on here just a minute. Okay, this is a little bit backwards. It says here that the quizzes are 30 points each. They're 20. My bad. It says here the key terms are 20 points each. They're 30. So that adjusts this just a little bit, but roughly 2,200 points are the total points for the semester. Even online, you're going to have 3 main knife skills practical exams throughout the semester and 1 big practical exam at the end of the semester. Okay. You'll have a written exam at the end of the semester, the very, very last week. The quizzes you'll take in Blackboard, 1 each week, open book, open notes, open Google if you want to try that, but really open book. Everything comes out of your textbook. There's no time limit to the quizzes in Blackboard, but y'all listen to this warning. Listen to Chef. Chef is wise. I'm going to give you a little warning. When you're doing a quiz in Blackboard, you have, 4 to 6 minutes or so of inactivity. If you have too many minutes of complete inactivity, if you're flipping through your textbook and you can't find an answer and you're not being active in the quiz, your quiz will time out and it will submit the grade according to the answers that you have given. And if you didn't answer all of them, then there's zeros for those. So if you don't know an answer right away, move on to the next one. You'll be able to go, you can go back and forth. Okay. I'm going to tell you already, I'm going to broadcast this for the end of the semester. It is very important that you do these weekly quizzes. If you do the weekly quizzes, you've done the written final. The open book written final comes from the quizzes word for word for word for word. Okay. Key terms, anywhere from about 8 or 10 terms to 1 week. It's week 9, I think it is. There's 2 files. It's really big because we're getting ready for cheese week on week 10. We're all going to eat cheese and we're going to talk about the dynamics of taste, some of the physiology of taste. And there's a lot of stuff there. Those are like 50, there's 30 cheeses to write out the description of those cheeses, all out of the book. And there's like 20 terms. Listen, these key terms are like 4th or 5th grade. Here's a word, copy the definition of the word out of the textbook. But there's a catch. This is college, right? And so not all of those terms are going to be in bold letters or italics letters or on the side of the page on the sidebars. Most will, but there's going to be terms, 1 or 2 each week, that you might actually have to read a little bit of what I tell you to read to find those terms. Kitchen math, just a few assignments. If you're really good at math, most of the kitchen math this semester is going to insult your intelligence. If you're not very good at math, the way I handle our kitchen math is going to be kind of slow progression. And it's very basic. And it's an introduction to the kind of math that we use in the kitchen. We are going to scale recipes in this class. You're going to do other math in other classes, but in this class, all we're going to do is scale recipes. Kelsey, you have a question?
Yes. My question is, do I have a deadline to have my student knife set, my student knife set in my uniform?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
This is week 1. You need it by week 3.
Week 3. And when is week 3?
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today.
This Yes Chef essays. There's some videos from some Central Arkansas industry chefs. And these chefs are giving you some encouragement, but also telling you what they look for in new hires, what they expect out of a student. And so you'll write little essay type things of what you get out of those essays. Yes, Jane, what can I help you with?
It's Janae or just Jay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Just
You're
Jane?
fine. Just Jay or Janae, either one of them, but it looks like Jane, but it's Janae.
My bad.
And with our chef pants, can we have pockets or do they need to be plain altogether?
Pockets are great. Carry your keys. I have a knife that I use as a box cutter. It's one of those Gerber type hunting knives. It's got the little clip on it that rests on my pocket. Pockets are fine. Plain black. No
logos.
Well, if it's got a little logo on it, mine has a little flag. I use Chef Works. And so that has a little logo on it. The ones you get from the bookstore don't have any logo on them. And that's fine. But stay away from the stripes, the flames, the chili peppers, the swirly, tropical looking, and the flowers. Y'all get through school and get out in the industry as trained professionals when you can make those decisions all by yourself. For the school, solid black. No yoga pants. No Nacho Libre, if you've ever seen that movie. None of his stretchy pants. No Dockers, Dickies, Levi's, no denim type pants. And the reason for those things is kitchen safety. Now, in food production 1, online, in your own kitchen, in your house, is not going to matter. But part of what we're doing is getting all the supplies that you're going to need all through culinary school. And you're going to work in environments where it's very easy to spill boiling water, spill some hot grease. And you need pants that are baggy enough that you can grab the spill, grab the fabric, and pull it away from your skin. And you can't do that with the stretchy pants.
Can you use, if we went to a uniform supply store here, we have one in Little Rock, West Little Rock, that does nursing uniforms. Can we get some there big enough that are solid black?
Big enough, yes. You don't want anything that's going to drag on the floor. So if it's too long, you want to hem it up. It's not safe if it's dragging on the floor. And you don't want like nursing scrubs. You don't want scrub pants that are too tight. They're no different than yoga pants or sweatpants. So if you go, maybe a size bigger, or I'm not a real fashionable person. I've been wearing chef clothes for 30 years. And so I don't know all the right terms to say, but I think you understand. The short answer, Janae, is yes, absolutely. You can go to the uniform store. The only thing that is absolutely required, you can't get anywhere else but the bookstore, is your chef coat. It needs to be UAPTC logoed coat, and
Technical.
your hat.
Okay. Thank you for using Connex's technical support. This is Janae speaking. May I please have your name and state that you're calling from?
I got you. All right, there you go. Okay, C, Reed, what's the C stand for?
It's Cherokee.
Cherokee. That's pretty.
Thank you. What kind of shirt are we supposed to wear under the coat?
That's a great question. We got into quite a discussion about that last night in class. A plain white t-shirt is best. While this really is not going to apply this semester in this class while you're at home, in kitchens, we work in extreme temperatures. And in the hot kitchen, right over a char grill, that char grill is probably blowing between 700 and 850 degrees right over the grill. It gets hot. And so some of us sweat. It's nice to have that undershirt underneath to wick away some of the sweat, but also not sweat out into the chef coat, because some of these chef coats are a little bit thin and you get wet, and we could end up having a wet t-shirt contest, and we don't want that. No bras showing. No, please wear the appropriate undergarments, but they shouldn't be visible. So just the plain white t-shirt would be okay. Try to stay away from, the concert t-shirts and stuff like that have, I don't know who's really big today. I got Rush on the brain. I'm a Rush groupie. I grew up with Rush and Van Halen and Scorpions and Rat and those people. Because don't wear those kind of concert shirts or something like that, because the logos show through and it's just an unprofessional, unkept look. But there you go. Cherokee, that answer your question okay?
Yes, Chef.
Good, thank you. You will, near the end of the semester, you will make an oral presentation. Now, in this class, because of the size of the class, it is unlikely, but don't hold me to this, that you'll have to do the presentation live in the class. It'll be pre-recorded. I teach you how to do that, and we'll get to that later in the semester. Okay. Here's yeah, Kelsey, go ahead. Okay, while we wait on Kelsey, I just gave you the first 2 weeks, kind of a glimpse of the course schedule. So this is out of the middle of the syllabus, but you can see this is the date. This is the week number. So we're in week 1 right now. The stuff that we're talking about, the lecture material, the lab, you're at home, so we're not going to take a tour of the kitchen. Hopefully, you know your kitchen at home and you know it just fine. And there you go. You can see a little bit of just a little bit of homework, which is kind of due before next week. And okay, Kelsey, welcome back. Unmute. You're muted. Unmute your microphone.
Sorry about that, Chef.
Yep.
But do I need a cutting board?
Cutting board, a flexible cutting mat, something to cut on. Yes, with your knives. If you don't already have a cutting board, yeah, that's something you're going to need to. That's something you need to get.
Because I have a white cutting board.
That's fine. That's great.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. As we go, if you have questions about the schedule and what's happening, I'm going to show you in Blackboard how it's real easy to see what we're doing week to week. In fact, okay, instead of showing these slides, y'all just type in the chat here real quick if you would like to see a little brief Blackboard tutorial. Would you like me? Okay, explore on the homework side. Explore means kind of be familiar with it a little bit, peruse through it, at least look at the pictures. Read means you really ought to read every word on the page. Now, let me tell you something about reading every word on the page. I wasn't born yesterday. And are you going to physically read every single word on the page? I hope so. I hope that you started culinary school and you're in this class because you would like to be a trained professional someday. And if you do, the speed at which you take off in your career is largely dependent on the fuel you put in the tank, how well you lay the foundation that starts in this class. This class is going to be one of the most academically challenging, and it's not academically challenging. There's just a lot to do and a lot to keep up with. If you don't get to read every single word on the page, no harm, no foul. But there is a marked difference between those of you that will and how you perform in food 1 and food 2 when you actually get in the kitchen and cook for guests and customers in food 3 and food 4 versus those of you that are, if you'll allow me to use the term, minimalist. And an educational minimalist is the one that what's the least amount of effort that I need to do to get by. That's a minimalist versus are you here to learn? There you go. That's up to you. So again, back to the question. I've got a couple of slides that kind of show you some things about Blackboard. Click on this and click on that. Would you like to just see it live? And I'll get out of this PowerPoint and go to Blackboard and we can all be seeing the same thing. Would you like that?
Yes.
All right. Good. Okay. So let's do this now. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen again as we move over to the interwebs. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Jay, yes, go ahead.
When we wear our chef coats, is it anything particular we cannot wear underneath it?
So I answered that before. You were on a call. Just a plain white T-shirt would be my recommendation. Would be my request. Definitely wear something underneath. If you get really hot and sweaty or you spill something on it, I don't want to see anybody, especially ladies. I don't want to see anybody's undergarments. Cherokee, please ask your question.
Can we wear a plain black T-shirt?
Yeah, give it a try. Some other students asked that as well, and just so that I'm uniform and there's continuity, and I give everybody the same message. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're in my Blackboard, and when we're in my Blackboard, just like yours, you can see here the classes I'm teaching for you. Everybody know, has anyone not logged into Blackboard at all? Good. So I'm assuming then everybody's logged into Blackboard. You know, you go in through your portal, you click on the left-hand side of the screen, Blackboard, and this is what you see. Mine will be a little bit different. It's the instructor view, but I'll turn that down here in a second. So this class is this one right here, 1302, section 01W for an online class. Now we come right to this start here page. I'll scroll down here just a little bit. Here, you can download the course syllabus with a lot of the information we just talked about. And you can go directly to the course schedule, which is what are we doing each week, week to week, okay? Where you are going to spend most of your time in this class, in most every class, I would assume, is here, course content. Click on course content. And here is where you're going to see whoops. All right, let's do that. Now it looks just like yours. There's where you're going to see where your homework is. First thing I'm going to point out, Some of you may have checked your email. You saw the email and you did this already. As I said earlier, I'm a doctoral student. You are actually very anonymously, you're going into some statistical data for my dissertation as part of my research. If you're willing to participate in, again, you remain anonymous. I won't know your answers and whatnot. You see this link right here. It takes about 10 minutes or so to answer the questions in this survey. If you take this survey and then grab a screenshot of the little confirmation or the exit screen and email me that confirmation screenshot, then I give you 50 bonus points. There'll be a post-course survey at the end of the semester. There's another chance for another 50 bonus points. There will be a knife skills test, which will be in person as part of this study, which is all voluntary, which will be worth an additional 100 bonus points. That is all the extra credit that I give. There's no other extra credit available in this class. I can't speak for your other instructors, but that's it. So if you did everything, that's 200 bonus points, which is almost a letter grade. 2,200 points for the semester, 200 possible bonus points. There's a lot there. You're on the Zoom call right now, so I don't need to point out necessarily, but here it is each week. You can come back here, click on the Zoom, and there you go. Recordings. So the Zoom is being recorded. And I've got yeah, Samuel, yes, that counts. You did the survey, you sent me a picture. Not everybody's able to grab that specific confirmation page right on time. That's okay. It's still kind of evidence that you took. I haven't entered the extra credit yet, so you don't see it. It's still open in my email. I'll be taking care of that over the weekend. But very good question. Looks like others had the same question. Recordings from tonight's Zoom and every other Thursday night will go in this folder. And so if you have to miss a week, wow, really? It said you had to be 18 to take the survey. Hey, Cherokee, let me look into that. Let me get into the survey maybe later tonight and see if there's some automatic age thing. If not, if you have to be 18, but you turn 18 in October, I'll give you a handwritten survey. How about that? It'll take me a minute to convert it to something that you can do just in email, but I want you to get the points. If you have to miss for a particular week, that happens. The recordings of what we do will be in here. Okay. The only grade that I'm taking in the Zoom class, the Zoom session, is kind of an attendance participation grade that you will see as a uniform inspection. You've got to be in uniform and present in the Zoom session to get those 10 points. Okay. If you're absent for the Zoom, you miss the points. But the instruction that I give, the demo that I give, Samuel, that's a great question. And I want you to feel free to contact me about anything, but you don't have to let me know that you're going to miss a class. And I've said the same thing to the in-person classes. If you miss something, if you didn't do something, I treat that like class is the job. And certainly in our world, if you don't show up, you don't get paid. If you're not here, you don't get those points. And I'm going to say, as a general rule, I don't care why you missed. Now, as I say that, for every rule, there is an exception. I'm kind of a driven, sometimes a little strict kind of a chef in the kitchen, but I promise you, I'm not any mean prick. And so, if you have an issue, if you have a certain problem, now, if I could say it this way, I care that your grandma died. I doubt that you have 15 grandmas and can use that excuse for every absence all the rest of the semester. I don't care if you broke an eyelash. I care if you broke an arm, but breaking an eyelash is my way of saying, in this industry, we work with a headache. In this industry, we work with hangnails. We don't work with a fever. We don't work with snot running down our face. And we shouldn't be working with the COVID and things like that. If you have a question about anything, ask it. But if you're just going to miss and you want to let me know that you got called into work or something, I appreciate the communication, but it more than likely won't make a difference. This resources folder, Caleb, that's a great question. For this class, if you catch COVID, the only thing that really is going to be the kicker is going to be picking up product. If you're quarantined and others in your home are quarantined, then you don't want to send anyone from your home to come to the school and pick up product. And so you send me an email that you've tested positive. I copy that email to Renee Smith, the Associate Dean of the Culinary School, and Michelle Anderson, who is the Dean of Students for the whole university. She will send you a link for you to answer a few questions and upload the paper, upload your COVID test results. And then she is the one that sets the terms. Sometimes, most of the time, those terms are, or they have been in the past, this student needs to convert to online instruction. Guess what? You're already in an online class. So you can attend the session, even with COVID, in your own home, but you may not be able to pick up product. And so those are things that I deal with you one-on-one on a case-by-case basis. And so you will have to fill out some paperwork. It's not paperwork. It's a little online form, but you will have to include your doctor's note or the test results. Cherokee, that's a good question. What if we can't get anyone to pick up the stuff we need? Do you mean if you get sick, if you get COVID and you can't get anyone to pick up the stuff you need? Or are you talking about you're in this class and you need help picking up your product each week and nobody wants to pick up product for you? Yeah, if you get sick, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Every person, every individual is going to have, their own story and their own issue. Deadline to respond to the survey really is as long as this link is going to stay here actually all semester. And so it'll be a different link at the end of the semester. So there's not a deadline for that. Kelsey, yes, I mentioned that already. You can go to the bookstore and you use your financial aid. If you have financial aid, you use that. You don't need to write a check or use credit card or something like that. You were talking about uniform and book and knives and stuff like that, right? If you're talking about potatoes and carrots and onions, you've already paid for that. The carrots and potatoes and onions and whole chickens you're going to fabricate and stuff like that. That's part of your lab fee. So that is your lab fee for this class. You've already paid for that stuff. You have 2 assignments this week. Okay. And I'm going to go back in this folder and I'm going to pull the due date because for some of you, you may be seeing this for the first time. You've got some instruction here and here to do this first little assignment. You can use your cell phone. No filters are needed. No extra apps are needed. You'll just use the record on your camera. And I want you to record you with basically, who are you? What's your name? Where do you come from? And why'd you come to culinary school? Exactly what you see right up here. Introduce yourself. And then follow the instructions. This is your first little test, if you will, of follow directions. Can you follow directions? Okay. The other assignment you have is here in week 1, which is the week we're in. And so when you click on week 1, you have some resources. There's some pictures. There's some videos here. Okay. But you have this folder right here, Welcome to Culinary School. And under this folder, you have what clearly looks like an assignment. You're going to have to write a 3 to 5 paragraph, not page. Okay. And yes, you can write just 3 and get the same grade as somebody who writes 5 or 6 or 8. Okay. 3 to 5 paragraphs means at least 3. Okay. Addressing these 3 questions after you have watched these 2 videos. This first video where you see Robert Irvine from Food Network. This is a video from the Associate Dean, Miss Renee Smith. Okay. Robert Irvine appeared via camera, appeared when the new culinary school, where we meet now, when the culinary school was dedicated in 2008. But Renee is talking about your success as a okay, I'm not sure what chapter 6 is. Who is that? Kelsey? I'm not sure what chapter 6 is. If you did week 1 already, that's fine. Some of your classmates have, but not everybody has seen this. Renee gives you a lot of advice as a student. Okay. And I think this is important. This video with Lauren Bird is only about 4 minutes. It's kind of her story. She's a previous student. She's a student that had some challenges. She's a student that had some struggles. She hit a brick wall. She hit a few brick walls. She had several moments that she wanted to give up. And she talks about what she did and how she persevered. And so it's really good stuff. This folder, anytime you see this little paper with the pencil and a ruler, that is somewhere that you have to submit an assignment. This is where you will upload your little essay. You can upload it in Word. My preference is going to be this, okay? I want you to upload it in Word, or I want you to upload it as a PDF. If you want to upload it, if you want to do it in Word and then convert it to a PDF, that's fine. If you use some other document software, then convert it to a PDF to upload. Blackboard doesn't always work well with every single word processor. And so Microsoft Word works really great. You have Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and OneNote, I think, through UAPTC. You access it in your email. On the top left-hand side of your email, you see, I think 6 or 9 little dots, and it says Microsoft or Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft 365. You click on that, or depending on how it's set up, on the left-hand side, when you're in your email, on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the small mini icons for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and I think it's OneNote. Use those, convert it to a PDF, then click on the assignment, week 1 essay. You see the date it's due, you see the points that are possible. You'll attach the file by clicking on Browse My Computer and finding wherever it is that you saved that assignment. I would encourage you to set up, as I've done here, everything for my fall 2021 semester is in this fall 2021 folder. Now you're seeing all my private business. Find that, you click open it or double click on that file, double click on the particular item, and it will appear. So that's a graphic image. It appears here. Okay. Once it appears here, you're good to go. Click submit. And then the assignment is uploaded into your Blackboard. The only people that can see it is you and me. Yeah, Cherokee, I like Mickey Mouse. My wife and I spent a week there late summer, just a few weeks ago. And I've sent off for some artwork in my office. If you're familiar with older Disney stuff, like maybe Lady and the Tramp, there's a big fat guy and a little skinny guy. They're 2 chefs, Joe and Tony. And so to get an animator that still does some of that old animation, I tried to get an original print, and they're about $10,000. And so I'm just a teacher. I don't make that kind of money. Yes, Belanote. Oh, say, so you know Lady and the Tramp. Good stuff. Okay, so we're back here. We're back to just plain course content. The format of the class is going to be pretty much the same week after week after week. I would encourage you to set up a schedule for yourself. I'm going to do the key terms every Monday. I'm going to take the quiz every Thursday. I'm going to pick up, now listen, you will need to pick up product for that week's lab Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of the week. You pick it up at the culinary school. You get a bag. There's going to be a big cart that has the potatoes, the carrots, the chicken, the whatever it is that we're cutting, the things that you need. You'll get it off the cart and put it in your bag, and you'll sign a piece of paper saying you picked up your product, and away you go. There's no money. There's no cost. You've already You've already did that when you paid your tuition and fees. Yes, Jay?
What time is pickup?
It's a great question. So the purchasing department is usually there around 8 a.m. And unless they're busy doing something, staying late, they're trying to get out about 4. So I would encourage you to plan on picking up between 8 and 4, Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Sounds perfect.
There's a class Wednesday night. I think it's Wednesday night that will be breaking down all those carts. And so if you show up on Thursday, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to pick up the product. You should be able to, but you'll have to fetch it and get it.
Yeah, I'll be able to do it in the mornings.
Good. Tara is correct. You're going to go south. Caleb, yes, it's exactly the same place as a product ID class. In fact, if you're in product ID, even easier for you because you may be building the cart. And you can go ahead and grab it then. It is South Campus, the Culinary Arts and Hospitality Management Institute. If you're pulling into the parking lot, it's the building to the right in the parking lot. And you can go around to the back. If you pull around to the side, if you're pulling in from the frontage road, it's the far right-hand side of the building. That's where the back dock is. And you go in the back dock door, and the doors right in front of you goes to the purchasing department, the refrigerators, the dry storage. That's also where the product ID class is. For now, until further notice, yes, masks are required. They're required in the building. So if you carry your mask out of your car, that's fine. But as you're approaching the building, your mask has to come on when you come in the building. If it is inconvenient for you to pick up product between 8 and 4, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, a family member, someone else can pick up product for you, and that would be the second best option. That really is your only options. I guess your third option is, and I've had a couple of students do this, and I don't understand it because you paid. I mean, it may have been the government or your lottery scholarship or whatever, may have been scholarship that paid for your lab fee, but you bought this product already. If you can't or don't come to the culinary school to pick up the product, you have to provide it yourself. And we are cutting, you have to provide it yourself, whatever it is we're working on. And Food One, it's not very, very expensive. When you take Food Two, when you take meat and seafood, holy cow, each student costs about $1,000. Food Two that you'll take next semester, if you do this online, well, no matter how you do it, it's the same product for either in person or online. You're spending between $700 and $800. But it's only costing you the $500 lab fee. So there you go. Regarding product, regarding Blackboard, Zoom, what it is you need to do, what questions do you have? Do you have any other questions? Anything really burning? This recording, I've got to process it through YouTube, and then I upload it in that the class Zoom recordings folder that I showed you in Blackboard. It'll be up late tonight, or it'll be up tomorrow morning. So if you're the kind that you want to go back and review what we talked about, or you just want to advance through the screens that I had up, that's perfectly fine. You'll be able to do that by midday tomorrow. And the Zoom session will be in that folder for the entirety of the semester, as will every Zoom session every week. So there you go. Plan on next week probably being about about as long as well. And then starting in week 3, we're actually going to be playing with knives, and we'll start cutting. And so I won't keep you past 8 unless we have a lot of questions and stuff. I had a class over the summer, didn't have very many people in the class. It was over the summer, and man, they wanted to know everything. So a 1-hour class, we were all good with it. I'm happy to give you however much time you want or you need. I have insomnia, so I can keep going all night long if we need to. But whenever we're done, we're done. If you want to stay and ask me something one-on-one, there is no, thanks Tara for that. You're correct. There is no product pickup for next week. So we won't pick up product until week 3. No, we are in week 1. Yes, Evelyn, thank you. We are in week 1 right now. I am going to turn off the due date for that essay. I'm going to turn off the due date for those of you that just saw Blackboard for the first time. It's Thursday night right now, and the typical due dates, even though our Zoom is on Thursdays, the typical due date will always be 11:59 p.m. of that week. Sunday of that week, 11:59 Sunday of that week. So going forward, even though we haven't had class yet, you can go ahead and do the key terms. You could take the quiz. You can practice a little bit. Let me share with you one more thing about our Zoom session. What I will be able to see in Zoom is you physically handling the knife, right? I won't necessarily be able to see close up your finished cuts. Part of this class, as we go throughout the semester, we're going to get into very specific precision cutting. We're going to be cutting down to a 1/16 of an inch. The purpose of this Zoom and us cutting all together is just like an in-person class. It's guided live practice. If you're happy with the cut work that you do in the Zoom session, you won't see this until week 3, but you will upload photo evidence of your finished cuts, kind of a close-up of your dice. A few times you'll take a video, and that will mean I'll have enough onions, for example, during the Zoom session, I'm going to have you dice half an onion. For your grade, I'm going to ask you to capture a video of you dicing half an onion. Well, we'll do a half in person. You'll save the other half for you to do again for your grade. If we dice stuff, and you're happy with that dice, when we get off the Zoom, snap your pictures, upload it, and you're done with the lab for the week. Last thing, especially when it comes. So, yeah, Alex, let's talk about that next week. Can we do that? Y'all see Alex's comment here? Tara, let's talk about that next week also. Let me get into, we'll have a little more time. Let's get into the dynamics of, capturing video, taking a picture, and we will need to work on holding cameras at certain angles. And we're going to figure this out in a way that I don't expect anyone to to buy, tripods and phone holders and cameras. And no, you don't need to go to Amazon and buy anything particular. There are things that we can figure out that's going to give you the angle that I'm going to need to see your hands. And we'll work through that. We'll work through that next week. We'll talk a little bit about history and a little bit of sanitation, and we'll talk about some videography, photography, some lighting, basic stuff 101. But for the most part, the lighting that all of you have is going to work just fine already right now. What I see right now is going to work just fine. This does not have to be HDR. This does not have to be 4K, 8K. This does not have to be fancy schmancy. Okay. But very good questions. What else can I do for you? Terry? Yes, please.
Okay, forgive me, first of all, if you've already stated this. I did hear you say something about the On Cooking textbook of Culinary Fundamentals, 6th edition.
Yes, ma'am.
See on here, the Culinary Math 3rd edition and the Chef's Companion. I think I have that. I'm not sure. But the Culinary Math 3rd edition is a book that I need.
No, ma'am. In fact, we keep floating that. I think most of the classes might have that on the syllabus. I don't even think the bookstore carries that anymore. I haven't seen it in a bookstore for a couple of years at least.
Oh, okay.
That should be removed. The Culinary Companion is more like a dictionary, and it's a valuable resource. You will refer to it. Okay, maybe in a quick way, some of these key terms you might find a quicker definition going there than physically thumbing through the textbook. I just want you to physically. So I know this sounds very fourth grade educational psychology, but here's a word. If you just copy and paste, you get nothing from it. If you physically write it out or type each word, you record a little bit more of that. And so there you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. What else? Anything? Anyone? Bueller? Jay, yes.
With the dictionary she just showed, is it a particular one or does it matter?
It's in the bookstore. It should be listed in the bookstore and online. We have this fight every fall. They usually have it by the spring. The fight is, it is an optional book. But I think very, very good book. The book.
Okay, because it wasn't on my syllabus.
I took it off the syllabus, but I think the bookstore has it listed as a required book. And
not on mine.
They didn't?
No, they had. I got everything that was listed that I was supposed to have, and what was required already given to us through the
On Cooking
web.
Is the only required. Yes, Jay. Yeah, On Cooking is the only required. I use that same dictionary from time to time. It's a nice resource. And so if you have it, fine. You don't have it, fine. Purchasing, Jay, you are in product ID, aren't you?
Yes.
That's the book for product ID. Yes.
Okay. Those are the only 2 books I have. I just ordered my chef and hat, chef coat and hat, and I have my knife kit already.
So in my program, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 16 books on my coffee table right now as part of a section of my dissertation I've got to write. And I have to go through all of those books in the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
Wow. That's a lot.
Y'all are going to go through all of On Cooking in 2 years.
Okay.
I'll trade you. Kelsey, you raised your hand. You had a question before? Unmute.
Sorry about that. So the books that I need is on cooking, and then I also have a product ID. I think.
Okay.
So do I need the purchase book?
Yes. Look, I'm not sure exactly what it looks like, but I know when you go to the UAPTC website,
Mm-hmm.
your way to the bookstore, there is a site, there's a place within the bookstore that you put the course ID. You're going to put for this class CUL 1302.
Okay.
Your product ID class is HOS. I don't know, and another number and something else. And so you put those in, and the bookstore will help you. They're going to tell you what books you're going to need.
Okay.
By now, you should have gone to class, and you have a syllabus to refer to as well.
Okay. I read the syllabus and the supplies for product ID and for here. So.
Okay, good. So you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Good. What else? Anybody?
So, okay, with the classes, you gave us 2 key codes for Pearson for us to do the lab quizzes and stuff. I only got to put in 1, and for some reason it won't let me put in the second key code. It won't even bring up. It's asking for the professor's code.
You're talking about, are you talking about food 1, or are you talking about applied food service sanitation?
It's I have the applied food service sanitation already on there, but I can't get the food production 1 code on there.
Yeah, because I mentioned that. I mentioned that in here. So I don't use it. I don't use any of I don't like it. It's not really great stuff. I don't want you to see those videos because some of them are sloppy and there's poor sanitation. And so I do not like the online Pearson stuff. So in order to access the online stuff, you have to use the code that you buy with the book, but the instructor has to have a course open as well. And I do not do that.
Okay, no problem.
Save that code.
I should tell that to my job because I work for Pearson.
Do you really?
I work through Connexus, but they work as a third party for Pearson. So I do technical support for students
Okay.
for Pearson.
Yeah, I've said that to Pearson already, but if you report that to him and say that was Chef Hall from UAPTC, then, multiple people saying the same thing, maybe they'll clean up their stuff.
Maybe so. I have to mention to my supervisor.
What else, anybody? Everybody have a blessed night and a very good week. If anything comes up, text me, email me. If you call me, leave me a message. I don't carry my phone when I'm mowing the lawn. Alex just shared $74.99 ebook on Amazon. Kelsey, you do not need the code for food production 1, and another student can't email you their code because it's only a single use code. Since I don't require that code, that's what I meant earlier. You can get a more economical, a cheaper version of the book. It just has to be 6th edition. So you can get the book, if you can find it for $75 instead of $200, If you can find it for $25, knock yourself out. But you do need the book. I give you in week 1 so that you're ready for next week. I give you in the week 1 folder, I think it's chapter 1. And when week 2 comes up, by the end of the weekend, all of the rest of the course you will see in course content. There was a Blackboard problem for all the faculty last week. And so, oh, Samuel, thanks. You know Charlie. I go back with Charlie just a little bit. We worked together at the Winthrop Rockefeller Institute up on Petit Jean Mountain. Anyway, we were all thrown about a week behind in getting everything set up in Blackboard. You probably have a couple other instructors that are scrambling just a little bit. I've been helping other instructors, and so I just opened up this week, and then I've got to fix some due dates, and I'll open up all of the rest of the course. Listen, you can work ahead. You can take a Saturday and you can knock out all of the key terms for the whole semester if you so choose. You can submit things after the due date, but I'm going to dock 50% of the grade. Did y'all hear that? 50%. In this business, we work right up against hard deadlines. The catering client wants to be fed at this time. We're doing something and we're feeding lunch in the middle of their business, their meeting, and we've got to get the food out on time, whatever it takes. And so we, in a small way, start learning that principle by in culinary school and in other disciplines as well. We have due dates and we're going to stick to that due date. I am a tough client when it comes to that. I don't want you to give me a discounted catering event because you're going to be late. I want you to give me the food for my catering event when I ask for it. Does that make sense? And so it's going to hurt if you give me stuff late. So key terms, watching videos. You've got 6 yes chef, guest chef little things throughout the semester. You can do all of that stuff in advance. Your labs, you could work in advance if you already have product at home, but you won't be able to pick up product until week of. So take that for what it's worth. I encourage everyone, when we're cutting potatoes, you go to Walmart and get another 5 or 10 pound bag of potatoes. One benefit, it's a huge benefit. It's the last thing I'm going to say. It is a huge benefit to be in an online class in this environment, because when you're ready to submit something, you're going to submit your lab assignment, you're doing your knife skills test. When you do the knife skills test in person, one of my in-person classes, you have 3 cuts, you have 3 potatoes, go. You do what you do and you get what you get. At home, you take a picture of your knife skills test and you have the opportunity to put forth your best work. And that means sometimes, I cut the potato that the school gave me. Well, I don't like my cut. So let me get into my grocery store potatoes. Let me cut it again. I don't like that. Let me cut it one more time. Okay. It took me 3 potatoes to get it right, to be what I'm happy with. And so I'm going to submit that. You don't get that privilege in an in-person class. And so I hope you like French onion soup. I hope you like carrot soup. It's too hot to be thinking about soup, but by the time we really get hot and heavy into cutting, it'll be cooling off. Carrot soup. Celery soup's nasty, but if you like it, okay, that's fine. French onion soup, have yourself a little toasty bread and keep you some Swiss cheese and some beef stock. And you're going to cut plenty of onions for French onion soup, so on and so on. We're going to have a fun semester. Y'all have a great night and a good week. Let me know if you have problems or questions, and we'll go on from there. Nighty night to one and all. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.